God bless you guys. This is Sean here from Faith Brings Change. I just want to come on here and talk to you guys about a dream that I had. It's very brief. I was looking at, and before I tell this dream, I just want to say this channel is not monetized or anything. I'm going to be talking about Smallville, so whoever watched this video on YouTube, please bear in mind that any clips I show, these are on YouTube. They're public. I do not monetize. I don't charge anybody any money for this. You can go on the same side of YouTube and look them up. And people often on the channels do and show different things on that. So I don't see why it would be a problem. But anyways, guys, I was in this dream, and if you ever seen Tom Welling, who plays Clark Kent, aka Superman on Smallville, and his Kryptonian name is Kal-El. He was sitting in this he was in this banquet room, and he was wearing black, and it was dark, and he was kicking back in a chair. He might have had his feet up on the table, I don't remember, or sitting in a comfortable couch, or whatever, but this woman was describing to him these brownies, and it's weird because they had these almonds on them. She was saying there were 3 different ways that you could cook them. And the first way was if you cooked them too long, all those almonds on the brownies, they would disappear. And if you didn't cook them long enough, all the eyes or all the almonds would be still on there. But if you cook them just right, you would see only 2 of them. And when I looked, I saw the 2 that they looked like eyes. And then Clark Kent smiled and he said, "Then what are we waiting for?" And he looked arrogant, and it was like that Kryptonian. It was like it had a secret meaning that he knew and she knew, and they knew what it meant. And it had something to do with a particular group of people, because there were other people in that room that were out for blood, and they were out for other people's lives. But I also saw that there was envy, and there was strife potentially among their members, and potentially that woman was trying to get him, and she had red kryptonited him. And if you don't know about the series, guys, that kryptonite can kill Superman, but this red kryptonite that he has, unlike the green kind, the normal kind, it brings out his selfish ambitions and arrogance. And he has a lot of, maybe because he's a Kryptonian, he's an alien, and that's the meaning also of a Hebrew, a foreigner. Jesus says we're not of this world, we're from above, therefore the world hates us. And so he has come under attacks as being an outcast, different than everybody else. And he has a lot of internal anger in that he is bottled up a lot of times. Why he has to be so different from everybody else, why he has to remain in the shadows, why he can't step out and be more public about who he is, why he has to cover up. And he has a lot of problems about that. And just to show you, I hope that this will be on there. It's just this, I'll just show it. It's on, this is a public thing. You can look this up on Yahoo. I don't see why that would be a problem. That was kind of the look he was looking, and he was at a round table, and it was almost like this image right here. And I just showed that one time. And you can go on Yahoo. This is a public. I don't see why I don't monetize. But in the next vision I had, and I'll show you, maybe they'll let me do this clip, but the next vision I had, it's like I work at a grocery store, guys. I work at a place called HEB. Interesting, because that's also the short name of Hebrew also. HEB, and for a foreigner or an alien. Clark is an alien, And anybody who speaks for Jesus, he's not of this world, Jesus says. We're not of this world. Therefore, the world hates us. And speaking of these eyes, guys, these almonds, what I want to say about them is I broke it up into the word all and the word mond. And I pray I'm not losing you guys. Don't let me lose you here. But God has in his word about the rod of an almond tree. And I'm going to talk to you about this, guys, and I'm going to explain. I'll show you a clip of Clark Kent if they'll let me, guys. And they won't block it. But anyways, you put the word almond, when you break it into all and mond together, it means all world, all mouth, subworld, submouth, or underworld. And another word of it means, I'm trying to think of the last one, to say, tell, or forecast. So the almond tree, and we know about this in the Bible, it's prophetic. It's a world tree, or where a whole tree which speaks over the collective mind of everybody. And everybody in particular has been alienated in some form or way. And every man has been out for each other's blood. But there's this rod of an almond tree. So the next thing, I was in HEB, I was looking down aisle 13, and I saw this guy Marcus, and he's working these paper plates. And he was with the rest of the night crew. And it was almost like I was looking through a set of eyes of another person, maybe a person in whose shoes I've been in the past. And it was almost like the idea that I was stalling. Why am I not helping them? Well, in the dream, I was calling out to him, and he was not hearing me, nor were the people hearing me. They just kept working. I'm like, why don't they hear me? And then the scene changed, and I peeked my head, or it looked like I peeked my head over the corner to look at the perimeter, the right of where they were. But the problem is, when I peeked, it was Marcus, that same man, that was peeking. Almost like he was in my head and I was him, and I was trying to judge on behalf of him. Does he want me to do the perimeter? Has the perimeter been done? If I go and do that, maybe he will grill me for not helping them out here. Then again, the third thing is, when I turned, the vision changed, and I turned and I walked away from them. And I saw from his viewpoint down that aisle, he then looked up when I turned to walk away from where he was stalking. It was almost like, don't turn your back on me. And it was almost like, now he sees me. So he's seen me the whole time. He's been waiting for me to turn my back so he can see me, catch me in some kind of fault. And you know, and I would keep my distance from them, because I kind of felt alienated from the bunch, because it says in the Elijah codes, an idol is with them. What's the idol? The idol of coldness and pride. Because sometimes he would be angry, and if I would be afraid of engaging him, because if I did, he would have all this, he would talk, I would feel he would talk down to me, and he would at times, and I would get kind of nervous around the other people, and I didn't like that, and so I would keep a distance. And that spirit of coldness. And it's funny that I'm thinking about this now, but Clark Kent, you know, God showed a vision to another person of a false Superman, and he said he looks like Superman, but he's called superhuman, and he's a spirit of coldness. And he would blow the cold breath out of his mouth just like Clark does. But God showed this person, he would fly really fast, and he would go into churches and blow the spirit of coldness on them, and they would go to sleep, you know. Or they wouldn't hear the message of the Lord because of coldness. And a lot of times when I would even try to confront him with the message of that he needs to repent and be gracious, and he attacked me one time for doing that. But I prayed for him and I blessed him and everything. But it was like when I departed, he was almost like he was saying, what, you going home? You're going to leave us here and not do anything? How dare you? But the fourth interpretation is, maybe I'm turning, maybe the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm back here in the back doing a bell, trying to break down the trash so we can put trash in the compactor. Because I would have times where I would want to do that, but if I did that, he would say, why'd you do that for? Why didn't you just leave it for somebody else? And then when I would not do it, oh, you should have just taken the initiative. But I was like, should I do the perimeter? Does he want me to do the perimeter? Does he want me to do this? Maybe I'm going to get in trouble for doing this. So it was like, almost like I had to ask his permission on that aisle if it was okay for me to do the bell first. Otherwise, I would get grilled for it. And there's a lot of animosity in that, people. Now I'm going to read to you about the almond tree, guys. And then after that, I'll show the clip of Clark if I have not lost you guys. But the almond tree is a world tree, guys. It's a tree of, has to do with sight and vision, a world vision. I told you about what that means. It means like almond, when you break up those two words, it means world, all the world, or the whole mouth, or all the people. You know, and all the people have that voice in them, that they feel like they've been wronged in some kind of way. But this almond tree, check this out, guys. and And let me tell you about that dream about the baking. You could burn somebody up so much to the point that they would be so offended, like that brownie, that all those eyes that they had in them for sight, they would be blinded. They couldn't see anything. And that harlot was boasting, if you cook it too long, it'll do this. And the second time, if you don't cook it just enough, it'll be all those eyes. And then you'll just have eyes for everybody, and you can see too much stuff. You're seeing outwardly all the stuff in the world, but if you cook it just right, there's just two eyes. And I see Marcus, that it was almost like they were trying to use witchcraft and try to play with me and manipulate my mind, and I had to overcome the offense of that dream by showing love and saying, look, Marcus, I've been in your shoes. I've been the guy looking over the owl, because he would do that sometimes, and I would feel like, when I was working the owl, I'd feel like, is he just stalling? Why doesn't he help us? And then when he would turn to leave, oh, he's just leaving us. And I've been in the place of the person that I was in the dream, trying to figure out, does he want me to do this or not? Because I don't want to get in trouble for doing this without asking him. But when I call to him, he won't answer me. And so it was like there was all this witchcraft stuff. And there's so much to this dream. I saw so many other things, but I'm going to play the clip of Clark first. I'll play the clip of Clark first, and then we'll see if they let me play it. Again, this is public channel. This is not monetized. This is on YouTube. So if you want to type this in, it's on YouTube. It's public, so I don't see why it would be a problem. In fact, this clip is posted by somebody who's named Varan Haas or whatever, and that, to my knowledge, that's just a regular channel. So I don't see, if they post it, why it'd be a problem for me to post it. But this is I'm going to give you a I'm going to show you what red kryptonite does. So for a context of the scene, guys, this red kryptonite ring he finds because somebody puts it on him in a past episode, and he knows what it does to him. He took the initiative. Wow, I'm just thinking of that just now. He took the initiative to do something what he thought would be on behalf of his father, Jonathan Kent, and his mother, Martha. And what he did, basically, in a certain season, blew up a barn, and it caused his mother, his adopted mother, Martha, to lose the pregnancy of the baby. Her and Jonathan Kent conceived, because they were normally not able to have children, and they had him as adopted, and he came from Krypton, that other planet, when the meteors fell, and he landed out in a field, and they took him for his son. But anyways, basically, somehow something happened, or some miraculous thing in an episode, and then they could have kids. But it almost like it got ruined when Clark took the initiative, and something happened, and it blew up a barn or something, and knocked his mother over outside, and she lost the baby, and his dad was really mad at him. And then he was really feeling really guilty. He said, nobody wants me, feeling alienated. And he put the red kryptonite ring on at the end of season 1, or season 2, I should say. And he ghosted off, went somewhere. And he was just, he said, I'm doing this on behalf of everybody else. And when he put that red kryptonite ring on, those selfish ambitions came out. And you see his father, Jarrell, trying to call him back to come back. And you see an S logo burned on him. And I'll just show you a picture right here, guys, of him when he's eventually becomes Superman. Because this was the best image, and God showed me a dream. He told me in heaven, we're going to be working. I'm going to be helping reboot this series of Smallville. There's a parts department. So if Tom Welling does not make it to heaven, you put all the parts together for an eye, hand, or foot to get that body of that person, and the angel will get into it and act out the part of the character. But either way, there's going to be a Superman. I know that Tom Welling said he's a Christian, but he just maybe needs to go through tribulation to get there. But let me show you as close to what I saw in my dream that he looked like. But he has his own, I'm trying to think of the word. He has his own suit that the Lord showed me that was made that looked good, that in heaven it was obviously designed. The Father can see everything in your future, guys. He has all your days are recorded in the book. So even days when you're in heaven, he can already see that. So he's shown me what's ahead already in eternity waiting. And I know that there is a Tom Welling Superman that has already been done as far as he's concerned. He's already seen that. I wish if it will let me do that. Yeah, here we go. Let me see. I'm looking. So guys, stay with me a second because this is a good picture. If it'll let me find it. My goodness, I don't know why it would be missing or removed. There we go. Okay. This was closest to what I saw. So this is what he's going to become. And that S, they say it represents hope. The word S in Hebrew, there's a word called sabar, and it means hope. And Kal-El, his Kryptonian name, that's a Hebrew name, guys. An El from the house of El, or the house of God. His name is Clark Joseph Kent. Clergyman, Joseph, which means God will give, and Kent, and I forget what that means. But anyways, let's look at this clip and let's check it out. Let's see what this is right here. Hold on. Okay, I'll see if you can see this. I'm sorry for the reflection, guys. It's just not going to look as good. Hold on. If it'll let me. This is him on the red kryptonite. It brings out the selfish ambitions. Remember, he's fleeing from his house. He's kind of like the prodigal son because he feels like he did something wrong and he's not wanted. That red kryptonite ring makes him do bad things. He's not normally like that. He's normally good. He's robbing banks because he is Superman. They call him a man of steel because he can dodge bullets and he's basically invincible. He's a alien from another planet.
I like this car. How much is it?
If you had to ask, you can't afford it.
Try me.
240,000.
This should cover it. Let me take it for a test drive. Cool, right, Cal? You like it? It's yours. Keep it.
They called him Cal by his Kryptonian name because when he's drugged, he just didn't care. He said that, but he probably did. They probably don't know. Obviously, they don't know he's literally an alien. And of course, he's in this trashy bar, a place kind of like the prodigal son, a place where he shouldn't be.
Where are you from?
Someplace I'm trying to forget.
Me too. What is that?
It's a birthmark.
It's pretty big for a birthmark.
Don't touch.
Ow! That hurts.
Jerk. What's the deal, Cal? Every night you roll in here with the babe, you always leave empty-handed. Are you a monk or something? What's the point of starting something if it's just gonna end bad?
He had a heart to save people, but when he tried to do the right thing, he would make mistakes sometimes, and it would get other people hurt. And then when he was younger, it really would hurt him, and he would have these things, you know. This is all part of his training to become Superman one day. That was something his dad burned on him to get him back. That number 8 is of the tribe of Levi, which means to be joined. And he's calling them out that he needs to come out from among them and be separate. But there's also witchcraft that's involved that you'll understand when you see this stuff in heaven, guys. But because we're going to redo this stuff, make it look better. But yeah.
Mark, is that you?
That's his mother.
Please come home.
And of course, that's that for you. And just to show you, that was like right before, that was on season 3, the first episode, I believe, right before the trailer. I'll try to see if it'll let me type this, guys. Because just to give you an idea, I don't know, maybe somebody hasn't seen it before. And so this is the opening of season 3. Yeah. The names may be backwards, I don't know, because it's a reflection, you know. But yeah, there you go. So, yeah, Smallville. And it's about alienation and stuff, and he eventually does become Superman, and you know, these guys have seen Superman before, you know, flying around and stuff, and Man of Steel and all that. And that's another version of Superman movie, but yeah. And he's a Kryptonian from another planet. And you know, you got it. But anyways, yeah, the dream was a lot about alienation. Maybe you feel like you've been alienated, guys, because where you are, you can't approach certain people because an idol was with them, the god of anger and war. You know, the guy's name, Marcus, it means God of War. And it's not wrong to have the name Marcus, but you have to just be careful because demons look at your names and they can war over them, basically. But remember what I talked about the almond tree and about how Clark was sitting there and this woman was saying there are 3 different ways you can make them. The first way you can make these brownies is you could cook them too long and all the almonds would disappear. The almonds represented eyes. And there would be no vision. It would be like a blind, angry, raging person, basically. And then you wouldn't cook them long enough and the eyes would be all over. And they couldn't see what was going on. I think the Lord gave me something to where he said the people were saying basically, there's one thing where they say he doesn't see what's going on, he's blind to our pain and what's going on, or he sees too much. He points out everybody's flaws, what they're doing wrong, and this one in the middle was just right. But it's like they were trying to get me to go along with whatever was going on. It was a dream about witchcraft, guys. It's what the world is in. And so going back to the rod of the almond tree, guys, that God sees everything that's going on. It's interesting, I thought about season 3 just now, and that 3, it's equivalent of the letter C, which when you look it up, it means also when you look at the name, it says it's a variant of see, like to see with your eyes, or to be flooded, like see, S-E-E or S-E-A, like the Sea of Nations. But just wanting Satan wanting to screw with your mind so you wouldn't follow the Lord, but you'd always be offended. But anyways, this rod of the almond tree, check this out, guys. It talks about this another name for the man is still. Still was also iron, guys. So you're going to see iron mentioned in this, so keep this in mind. But check this out, guys. I hope I've not lost you. I know this stuff is sometimes deep stuff, but this is a dream which deals with witchcraft and people that are living in darkness, and you're trying to sort of figure out everything through the eyes of the Lord so you can help speak to them to help save them. But the problem is, the whole situation is a mess. Everything is dark. The devil has darkened understanding, and you need the light of the Lord to understand it. But check this out, guys.
The book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 1. The words of Jeremiah the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah the son of Amon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month.
Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying,
Before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
Then said I, Ah, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me,
Say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Lord.
Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Lord said unto me,
Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth. See, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, and to destroy and to throw down, to build and to plant.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying,
Jeremiah, what seest thou?
And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said the Lord unto me,
Thou hast well seen, for I will hasten my word to perform it.
And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying,
What seest thou?
And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. Then the Lord said unto me,
Out of the north an evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, saith the Lord, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entering of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah. And I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me and have burned incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. Thou therefore gird up thy loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. For behold, I have made thee this day a defenced city, and an iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee.
That's the whole spirit of the vision, guys, is what I saw in the dream was basically a cold leader. And the Lord loves Marcus, but Marcus does need to repent. And he had, there were people that need to turn to the Lord Jesus Christ. and come out from among them and be separate. And if you do, you will be as a prey, but the Lord will deliver you. And the Lord is saying for that person maybe is alienated. That Clark Kent, that clergyman type. A clergyman is one who calls people to give an account. That's what it says. You can look up for it. It means for clerk, one who calls people to give an account. God's calling them to give an account for the sins. He said he would make you an iron pillar. Well, another name in Clark is called the Man of Steel, Superman. Steel is another variant of iron. So he's that iron pillar, and he's set over them, He's seen what they've done. He's wanted to join the people, but he's had to do it from afar. And that's the spirit of every servant from the Lord, that they want to be part of this people, but at the same time there is so much animosity. There's like this cloud, this coldness. It's almost like I'm supposed to be a mind reader, and I have to read his mind. He said, take the initiative. But when I first started, guys, I would do the perimeter. He's like, why are you doing the perimeter? Why you do it without asking me? And then I started to get where I was like an obedient dog. And then he would say, you don't... He said, you didn't do this. And I said, well, I was waiting for you to go, take the initiative. And so he could never make up his mind, really. And it was all this witchcraft stuff. And then there would be times when he wasn't, I would walk up to him and I would yell and go, hey. And I would be this close to his face and he still wouldn't answer me. And I was like, is he ignoring me? There'd be times when he didn't want to talk to me. But if I walk off or do something else, and I'll get in trouble. And it's like, the Lord's going to call this out, guys, on Day of Judgment is what this dream is about. And he's going to rebuke all this. And in the dreams, the angels will take the forms of the minds of these people just to show the world that they were playing with me. I needed a witness to say, yes, they are playing with me. And so the Lord would have his angels act this out like they're playing with me. And they would put words in my mouth, and I can go back and write down and explain to them from my perspective. And I also saw from their perspective. And why I was so indecisive, like a dove. The word for dove in Hebrew it means like one is vexed, and it has to do with being indecisive, not being able to make up your mind. The reason why is because you do one thing, slam on you. You did that. You say, okay, that will offend them. I'll do this. Slam on you for doing this. And it's like you can never please them because they are in offense always, and there's a hatred there. And it's not them, but it's those demons that don't like you because you've chosen to speak in the name of the Lord. You're different because Jesus has chosen you out of the world. He says, therefore the world hates you. It seems like a simple explanation. You're not of the world, therefore the world hates you because Jesus has chosen you out of it. And that's the example of Clark. You may want to add other things, but that's what the explanation Jesus gives. He says, look, I choose you out of the world. You're not of the world. Therefore, the world hates you. And we could argue all the time about these different reasons why they hate us, but that ultimately is it. And I saw that demon, that Roman god of war, which would try to take ownership of that name Marcus. But God can use that name for good. But it was a demon, and it was trying to look like Marcus. And I said, that's not Marcus. I know it has his facial features, but this was like demonic looking. And this is why forgiveness is needed, guys. Because maybe I was trying to argue that maybe I'm acting on behalf of them. Maybe the reason why I'm decisive is because I want my head to get blown off for doing the wrong thing. Maybe I want to go do a bell that we all need, because we can't throw our trash away, guys, at the store I work, unless we do a bell first. A bell is where you take all the trash out of the compactor and put it on a pallet and wrap it up, and you have to put wires through it. It's a certain process. It takes a few minutes, But the Lord is going to rebuke many peoples because of the leaders, particularly a lot of leaders at these organizations that are running this stuff like a concentration camp. And the devil has beat everybody into a hush-hush mentality, go with the flow, that if you don't do what everybody else is doing, my God, you're the worst person in the world. But so the Lord, what he needs from us is us to forgive them so we can have the right frame of mind to speak them in something that's not too fiery, but at the same time is direct. And maybe I was acting on behalf of them is why I was doing that. And the Lord wanted a favorable message at the same time, but he wants to specifically confront things. He wants to tell them that they need to repent, but I also have to do it in the right spirit. And I don't know, guys, if you got anything out of this. I don't know if this was a dream more about me, but I feel like, guys, let me know. Have you ever had people do you like that? Are you struggling with that stuff, you know? Are you working and you don't know how to approach certain people? I felt like this dream could maybe help some people. I don't know. You can let me know in the comment section, guys, and I love you. I'm praying for you. And until next time, shalom.